Running a business in the tourism sector can be competitive and challenging at the best of times, but imagine what kind of hurdles you'd have to deal with when setting up luxury lodges in remote China. Well, one person who's done precisely that is Liming Jia, Executive General Manager of Songtsam Lodges, who's based in Yunnan Province, China. I caught up with her while she was in Sydney. Liming Jia, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, can you just tell me a little bit about the business that you manage in China?
Right now, I manage 5 luxury lodges in the really very remote mountains in Yunnan Province. It's part of a Tibetan plateau, so the major population over there is Tibetan. It's a combination of adventure travel experiences and high-end lodges.
It's a really interesting concept because, I mean, we've heard a lot about outbound tourism, but something like what you're doing seems very unique. How was that identified as a gap in the market?
We run these lodges as a travel lodges to link them together as a travel route. I don't think that other people are doing this really in China, and we're in really very remote areas. And firstly, actually, we targeted like foreign market. When we started in 2011, there were 70% of our guests were foreign guests from American, Europe, or expats living in China. And then there's the transition. So this year we actually have up to 60%, more than 60% of our guests were Chinese guests. Surprisingly, to attract all these Chinese guests to our lodges, and they are really a new generation of travelers of China. They have better educations. A lot of them have overseas experiences, and actually they are into beautiful landscape and beautiful ethnic culture.
So what have been the challenges to getting it there?
There are a lot of challenges. Firstly, the infrastructure is really poor. There's no, a lot of the places that we build the lodges, we had to start from zero. We had to build the electricity, the water, and drainage, everything from zero. And also in those remote places, when you recruit people, you got to localize your entity, right? So all our staffs are recruited from the local villages, and the training is a problem. So we have to train them from very basic things, and also there's always the community issues because we build the lodges in pristine villages, so a lot to deal with the local communities. And
do they accept that foreigners or Chinese from other parts of the country are coming into their villages?
They accept that they are very friendly people. It's just that we have to maintain a good relationship with them. That's I always to say that we are not a hotel in a village, but we are rather a new family moved into the village. So we got to build a good bond with our neighbors. And also there are, I guess it's not, we are doing business in China. I'm a Chinese woman and I'm doing this in China, but I guess it might be similar to maybe some Australian businesswoman doing business in China. Because I'm also go to a different culture and deal with peoples that we don't really speak the same language, and also have to get into a strange community that far away from home. So that's a lot of the in common. Actually, the difficulties I think is quite common.
In your view, being on the ground in China and being Chinese, native Chinese, what do you think are the opportunities where Australia and China can work together?
Australia has a lot of things that we are losing in China right now. Even the basic things: fresh air, clean food, and wild animals, beautiful landscape. So I think that it's China. Everyone, actually, a lot of people, we all know that China is a good big market for Australian tourism, for inbound, for the tourism to Australia. So I think there's a lot of potential still with it, other than the mass tourism, because right now I don't think there's a clear industry leader in this area to bring high-end Chinese tourists. I would call them travelers to Australia, because a lot of them a lot of them actually, they're looking for something different. They are looking for adventures and different experiences, not just a tour bus. A tour bus, big tour groups stuff. So there are a lot of potential. And look at the Chinese travelers. As the big market, there are a lot of different segments. They have different interests. I think if someone can really get into it and learn about what people are looking for and what different segments of the market are looking for, there would be a lot of potential.
Your business hinges a lot on, pristine environments, and we know that there are areas in China that are under a direct threat in terms of environment, pollution and those sorts of things, and it seems to be spreading throughout the country. Is that of high concern to you, and are you looking at trying to change how governments operate so that, the environment isn't so threatened?
Well, I don't know how much we can change what the government would do, but we do try a lot to change things in small scales, like local authorities. It's of course a big concern for us if all those attractions are gone, we'll lose the business eventually. So we deal a lot with local communities, with local authorities, and trying to make us change from where we are. And actually, I can see some changes in this from where I am, not from big scale talking about China, because I think that there are more people they educated outside, and they went to overseas and see how other countries are, and so I hope that will bring back a good influence, at least to where I am.
Li Mingjia, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.